The following is a paid program and does not necessarily reflect the opinions of the staff or management of Visionary-related entertainment.
Aloha and welcome to Maui Nonprofit Notes. Each week on this show, you'll find us talking story with Maui's nonprofit executive directors and staff to find out how they're working to support those with needs within our community. Maui Nonprofit Notes is generously sponsored by Pacific Source. If you're building or remodeling a home, please stop by Pacific Source's cabinet and appliance showroom located in the Waikapu Base Yard. I'm Susie Tiemann, Executive Director of Lokahi Pacific, and your host for Maui Nonprofit Notes. During this hour, we share some of the experiences of our nonprofit agencies and just how they are changing lives, changing communities, and creating miracles of hope for those with needs. We're starting, today on the show, we'll talk who all is going to be on the show. We've got Jerlene Bryant, who's the CEO of the Maui Humane Society, and we've got Rich Yost, who's the CEO of the Maui Food Bank. Let's start out, Jerlene, with you. How you doing today?
I'm good, Susie. How are you?
I think I'm okay. A lot better than last week when I had that sugar rush. Ooh, they had all kinds of donuts here.
Oh, boy. Okay. And this is Yappy Hour, right? This is
Whoa, I tell you, everybody's shoving this different donut in your mouth. And I came in here and it's like, hello, what is this? Where am I? And the show reflected that in about the first 10 minutes. Gosh, it was awful. But we're going to be talking about dogs and cats and animals of all kinds, including a tortoise.
Yeah.
How's Freddie?
Freddie is good. Freddie's turning 14. His big birthday party is this Saturday. And so we'll be having a fun celebration, Easter egg hunt, 2 separate Easter egg hunts. Broke out for the young ones and then a little bit the older ones. And all kinds of good times.
Cool. Does Freddie blow out the candles on his cake?
We're working on that.
Are you?
Yeah.
You know,
he's really slow. So.
Isn't that the definition of a tortoise?
Yeah.
But he's just 14.
He's just 14.
For some reason, I keep thinking he's older than that.
Well, no, he's going to outlive us all.
Well,
yeah. And
he's got about 136 years to go.
Something like that, Wow. And so, Freddie's our resident. He's the only animal at the shelter that isn't available for adoption.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. And, we keep him around because, for a lot of reasons. We like him. He's fun for, the tourists and the residents to come and interact with. But it's also, I guess there's an educational component there about taking on responsibility of animals that are going to outlast and outlive you and your children and so on and so forth. So, yeah.
Who cares for them when you're gone? Mm-hmm. Is there a story behind how he got there?
I think there's a variety of stories, and so I'm not really sure which one is the accurate one. So
we're not going to go there.
Just when I think I have it correct, then something else comes up, some other little tidbit of information, and I realize maybe I didn't really have it correct. So
I'll bet everybody who's been either on the board or in management at the Humane Society has a different story. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep. I've heard everything from he was left to us when his owner passed away, and he was kind of bequested to us. And then I shared that with someone, and they're like, "Oh, no. He came from the pet shop," and so I kind of
like that first thought with his owner said, "When I die, he goes to the Humane Society with this huge bequest."
Yes, exactly.
Endowment.
Yes,
if
endowment.
You will,
yes.
That will take care of him for 120 years or 140 years, whatever he has. Mm-hmm. But I bet that part's not true.
I don't think so. I know. But what is true is that Freddie is going to have a wonderful birthday party, and it's going to be a great time at the Humane Society. Last year, it was an unbelievable celebration. We had so many children, so many families there, and it was very fun.
And this all starts at what time? Are we saying because we don't know?
I'm gonna.
It's not.
Well,
it's not
is it on the website?
No,
I'm gonna say 11 o'clock. I'm gonna guess and say 11, but I would also say to check our website.
There you go.
And Facebook, and I know it's on
it's
Facebook.
Yeah. I'm not. I don't do Facebook for that. I don't know why. Everybody has a listing now. They've got their website, and then the next listing is usually their Facebook. But for some reason, I just don't go there. I don't know. I'm old-fashioned.
Got to get with the times, Susie.
I know. I need more hours in the day to include Facebook.
Oh, here we go. I guess if I would have looked at my notes. So, Freddie's birthday is from 11 until 1.
See, there you go.
5 years old and under, the Easter egg hunt is at 11. 5 years old and over, the Easter egg hunt is at 11:30.
Oh, cool. Great.
Yeah.
See?
That's right.
You're always prepared. I've never known you not to be prepared one way or another. So, how's budget going this year?
So far so good.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to go where animal management is up in front of Budget and Finance Committee next week.
Okay.
And we're certainly going to be thanking them for the support and for our partnership with Maui County in years past. I think we're going on 30 years.
Wow.
Or maybe this is our 30th year that we've had the animal management contract. We are requesting from council that they give additional funds to our humane enforcement contract so that we can bring on another officer and a part-time dispatcher, which will allow us to service the islands more efficiently and consistently.
So it's 24/7 now.
It is 24/7.
Just more efficiency.
And more coverage. We're not out on the west side as much as we should, and we're not out in Hana. And an additional officer would allow us to do that.
I see. Very good. For those of you who may not be familiar, when we talk about budget time, for all of us nonprofits, the county is so great in working with us and helping us to do our missions by granting us money to pay staff and expenses of doing that mission work. And so each year, as the county goes into its budget negotiations, it's juggling all these numbers from all the different agencies and the requests, and taking a look at what they've done in the past to see if they are doing the right thing. And as somebody said, it's the stellar agencies that usually come out with, if there's a need for more money, they can try to find it. And I think stellar. What is that? Aren't we all stellar? I mean, in my world, I'm thinking we all are, because most of the agencies that we work with have a great history, good reputations, and work well together. And that's what it's all about, trying to cover all the needs in the community. So when we talk about budget, we're always, it's kind of, we know it's going to be a tough year. There's some government contracts that come up that they've got to take care of, union negotiations and so on. And I don't know. I would not want to be in any of their shoes.
I wouldn't either. And, and I know it's a tough year. And every year, there's so many wonderful agencies, just speaking from the nonprofit community, there's so many wonderful agencies that do amazing work that need additional funds for the work that they do. And I recognize that. But I have to represent my agency, right?
That's right. That's right.
And when it comes to humane enforcement, I mean, it's definitely an important role that our humane enforcement officers play for the animals in our community and for the people in our community. Right. If you have an animal emergency, there's one place to call, and that place is the Humane Society, our humane enforcement department. And right now we have 7 officers on staff, and that is to cover 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. But not all 7 officers work every day. And so when you look at how, days off, if somebody is sick, if somebody's on vacation, it's very typical for me to only have 2 officers on duty to cover the entire island.
Wow.
And I can tell you that is not nearly enough. Right. I really need 5 more officers, but I'm asking council for 1 and a part-time dispatcher.
Gotcha. Wow. So now, I guess maybe it was a month ago or so, you announced the closing of your overnight drop-off area. And I know you got some static over that.
A little bit,
And maybe a little more than a little bit. But I think it was an educational process that probably it's died down now because people understand what you were saying. And as I looked at your website, and it talked about how many animals were left in the overnight cages, I guess you got to call them, with no information.
Yeah.
You don't know how old they are. You don't know if they have any illnesses.
We don't even know their name, and so
There you go.
yeah. So last year we had over 1,000 animals that were left in our overnight kennels. The industry term that's often used is drop boxes.
Oh my gosh.
It doesn't sound very warm and friendly.
No.
But over 1,000 animals were left. And more than half of those we didn't have any information on. So we didn't we didn't know their name. We didn't know what their medical history was. We didn't know how they were with children. We didn't know anything. And so so what changed for us is that while we no longer have while the community no longer has access to these overnight kennels, they do have access to our 24-hour humane enforcement officers, and we implemented that last April, so a year ago. So if you find a stray animal, you are not stuck with that animal, call humane enforcement. Call our shelter number, which is 877-3680, extension 211. You will get an officer no matter what time it is. And if that is a stray animal, we're going to make arrangements to get that animal from you. If it is your animal and you would like to surrender your animal to the Humane Society, we will happily take him or her from you. We just ask that you come when we're open, which is Monday through Saturday from 11 till 6.
And that way they can talk directly with the owner and find out this information.
And sometimes, not every time, sometimes it's a situation where the owner doesn't want to give up that animal. Maybe they have fallen on hard times. Maybe they just need a little temporary help and they feel like they're out of options and that they have to surrender their animal. It may be possible that we can help. And that, because our goal is to keep animals in the homes that love them. And if there's something that we can do to help with that, we're going to do our best.
And we're talking about things like dog food.
We're talking about things like dog food,
medical something.
Sometimes sometimes it could be training resources. I can't make promises because we have limited resources too. But I can tell you if it is something we can help with, we're going to do our best.
That's encouraging. I think that for someone who thinks they have to make that decision, you've just opened an opportunity for them to maybe not have to. And to be able to take that dog back home with them with some help.
And then the last point that I want to make on the kennels closing is that of those 1,000 animals, there was a percentage of those animals that were left injured. And there was no one there to care for them until staff came in the next day. And that's something we never want to see. And so that won't happen anymore because if someone finds an injured animal, they will call enforcement, and we're going to make sure that that animal gets medical care ASAP.
As soon as possible.
Yeah.
Now, when they call that number, the enforcement officer, I assume, is one that's on duty at that time.
Exactly. Yes.
And they will go to that house as soon as they can.
It could be any. It could be any number of scenarios. When the kennels were open, people would drive to the shelter, so they may be calling humane enforcement from our parking lot.
They just found out when they tried to drop off the dog. Okay.
If the officer is in the area, he's going to drive there. If not, we do have access to some kennels. And he would give the person the combination, and they would be able to, after taking all the information that we need, they would be able to access that kennel and leave that animal until the officer gets to the shelter.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So there's options.
We have really tried to cover every base, and that doesn't mean sometimes scenarios don't come up that surprise us,
right?
And then we're going to work through them.
Interesting. I should have known that you would have the solutions here. We've got to take a short break. We'll be right back with Jerlene Bryant of the Maui Humane Society.
Aloha from Pacific Source, and thank you for your support over the years. Pacific Source has offered more of what builders and homeowners value most in building materials and cabinet design. We've done this by offering superior customer service and products, as well as by designing kitchens and baths that are intelligent and elegant while staying true to your vision and budget. Visit our showroom in Waikapu in central Maui, where we display a variety of cabinets as well as top-name appliances like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Viking, KitchenAid, and more. We display countertops, tile and wood flooring, and several brands of windows and doors, including Fleetwood multi-slides and La Cantina folding doors. Come in and talk to our designers about making your dreams become a reality. From concept to completion, we really believe our attention to detail and superior service are what sets us apart. Let us show you what we mean. We are a Pacific Source at 515 East Oahe Way in the Consolidated Base Yard in Waikapu, just off Waiko Road. Call us at 986-0380. That's 986-0380, or look us up online at packsource.com.
And we are back. This is the Maui Nonprofit Notes radio show, where each week we talk with some of our staff and our executive directors to find out what their agency is doing and how they are assisting our community with issues, problems. Sometimes it's all good stuff. You know, there's and this I think is such a positive thing. And you know, I mean, we hear, oh, they're closing their overnight kennels, blah blah blah, and that spreads, and the rest of the story doesn't. Yeah. Because we don't take the time for that. We just hear or see the headline and we go crazy. But what you've explained, I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah. What I really wanted the community to know is that we made this decision for the animals and for the community. It wasn't to save money. It wasn't because of any sort of, staff cuts or budget cuts. It was truly looking at the whole picture, all of our statistics, all of the individual scenarios and the stories that we know about, and my management team who have a wealth of experience in this industry and are truly professionals all came together and said, no, it will be better for the community and for the animals if we don't have just open access all night long to leave an animal there.
Right.
We are not turning any animals away. We will take those animals. We'll help where we can. But
I just had a sudden thought. Did you ever have anybody who called in shortly after they dropped off their animals and said, I made a mistake. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to leave my animal. I want to take him home. Can I come get him?
Sure. Yep.
You've had those.
We have.
I'll bet.
Susie, we have had every scenario.
I mean, because like you making the decision to close those, people agonize over a decision about leaving a pet or not being able to keep a pet. And you get to the point where you say, okay, this is a final decision, or it's a family decision. Everybody vote. And the vote is we have to give him back, or we have to take him to the Humane Society. But I can see and I can hear that trauma in the person who had to drop off that dog as they leave, and they go, oh, no, that's not what we can't do that.
And and that's part of having that face-to-face, that opportunity to have that discussion with someone, finding out, with no judgment, but what are your reasons? What is there something we can help with? What if we could help, with dog food to get you through until the end of the month? What if, who knows what the reason is? That gives them the opportunity to have to make more of an informed decision.
Right.
So, believe me, our staff, our goal is to keep every animal in the home that loves them. It's not about collecting more animals at the shelter. There's no shortage right now. So
right.
Yeah.
And by the same token, I think I kind of put that in the same category as finding a lost dog or a dog that's just wandering down the road. And you want to protect him because dogs are not afraid of cars by nature, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they don't know. No. They don't know what that tire can do to them, And I think often about what do you do? And I know you've got some really good information on your website, what to do if you find a stray dog or your dog is lost.
Yeah.
And I think it's so important that people know you're the clearinghouse.
We are. We are the first place you should be looking if your animal goes missing. If you find an animal, you should call us right away. And again, that number is 877-3680. If it's after hours, it'd be extension 211. And you can go on our website and file a lost report and a found report and upload the photo. So our staff will receive that immediately. But then also call in. And we're going to do our best to reunite those animals. We reunited almost 900 animals back with their families last year.
Wow.
Permanent identification is key. We absolutely encourage that and are advocates of permanent identification, which is a microchip. And we offer that service at the Humane Society, and you don't even need to make an appointment. You just bring your pet in.
Wow.
And we offer specials throughout the year, and so we definitely don't want the cost of the microchip to be a deterrent in getting permanent identification on your pet. And sometimes, I'm just going to add this, that many times if your pet goes missing and it has a microchip, it doesn't even need to come into the shelter. Our officer can go scan them in the field and see who that microchip is registered to, and call the owner and take them right back home.
Wow, that's fabulous. Now, one of the other things to do with the microchips, you've done all the right things. The dog has the microchip. You've registered him. He's got his tags on. Everything's perfect, except you moved, and you have a different phone number. Or like so many people today, you've given up your landline. Now you're just using cell phones. Okay. And you have a landline listed on your records. What happens?
So we'll have an address. An officer will actually go out to your home. If you moved, though, and then there is, boy, that's a difficult one. Okay. So we'll come to the shelter and look for your pet.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's the point. If your dog has gotten lost and there's any I mean, if you haven't heard from you guys, chances are there's something wrong with the the paperwork that you've gotten. And so they have how many days if the dog is all licensed and stuff to come get their dog before it goes up for adoption?
Well, so if the animal comes in and there is no sign of ownership, no collar, no nothing, we are going to hold that dog for 48 hours before then it becomes our dog. And that then they could go up for adoption. They could possibly be transferred to the mainland on our Wings of Aloha program. If the animal has a collar, some sort of sign of ownership, it's 5 days.
Okay.
And if they have a current Maui County dog license, 9 days.
Oh, okay. So the difference between no information being 2 days and having something like the dog tag is 9 days. So 7 days difference in there. That can make a world of difference.
Yeah. But you'd be surprised how many people their animal goes missing and they don't call us right away. They don't contact us right away. So we really want to encourage people to be proactive. When your animal goes missing, file a lost report. Help us help you get that animal home.
Yeah. Interesting. What do they just expect the dog will show up one day?
I'm not sure. I can't answer that.
I can't even think about that because I mean if Scooter ran out the door and took off across the field and we couldn't find the little guy, man, on my cell phone you'd be. I think your number's even on my cell phone.
You'd be calling my cell phone, Susie.
Oh, no. I got your work number as well as your cell phone. But, I mean, that I guess would surprise me that somebody, thinks, well, he's just going to come back. He's just out.
No, I'm not sure. I think sometimes that does happen if you have an animal that you allow to roam. I think sometimes, but
it's also a little bit embarrassing to say my dog is not. I don't have my dog. I don't know where he went.
We hear it all the time. Don't be embarrassed. Just call. Just call.
Yeah.
Or file a lost report.
Oh, yeah. Man, I'd hate to go in 2 weeks later and find out somebody just adopted him.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a touchy. We'll save that for the next show. That's a touchy issue, I would think. Okay, so you had some things you want to talk about. We're running out of time.
Yep. So just very quickly, we already touched on Freddie's birthday this coming Saturday. Our last MASH clinic, Mobile Animal Surgical Hospital, that's our high-volume, high-quality spay and neuter clinics. We are having our last one very soon, starting on April 25th. And
This is for cats.
it is for cats. And
And I say that because before the show we had this discussion about dogs and cats.
yeah, our goal is 800 cats during that 4-day period. We need the community's help getting those cats in. This is a wonderful opportunity for these animals to be spayed and neutered and microchipped at no cost. So we were fortunate enough to get a grant from PetSmart Charities to cover these MASH clinics. This is our last one.
Wow.
So yeah, so we want to.
Can that be renewed?
Well, we'll see. You know, now that
Okay.
we have our clinic, now that we have our veterinary clinic expansion all complete, we're able to do more animals every day.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Which kind of takes the place of these MASH clinics. We might, but so this is our last one. So, in addition, what we're asking the community is if you know of a cat colony with 20 or more unsterilized cats, call us. We have people willing to go out and trap and bring those cats in to get them spayed and neutered so that they don't continue to reproduce out in the community.
Wow.
So it is our campaign to reduce the number of free roaming cats in the community. It's working through spay and neuter, but we can't do it alone. I mean, we really cannot do it alone. So we are asking the community for their help.
Right.
So.
Good,
And then
good thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So MASH, that's the big one. Charity Walk is coming up. So we are raising money for Charity Walk, and information is on our website. So if anyone would like to join the MHS team, the Charity Walk team, and help us raise some much needed funds that will be partially matched, and if you'd like to come out and walk with us on that Saturday,
yeah.
please do so.
Can they bring their pets?
Unfortunately
Probably
not.
not.
But that's
That's a
not our
big-
rule.
that's a big crowd.
We would always say yes.
Yeah. That's
And
a big crowd. They can't do it.
yeah, so lots of information on our website. I know we're out of time. We have our calendar contest is launching in May, and that's really fun, where you can get your pet in our yearly calendar. We have a Petco adoption event at Petco on June 3rd. We have an agility fun run coming up on June 17th. And then, of course, our gala event in September, which is Furball. And that's our list of events
It's
coming
back.
up. It is back.
Did you do it last year?
We did, and we sold out a month early, and it was so fun, but there was some very disappointed people.
Oh, my
So
gosh.
it's going to be at the Four Seasons. It's going to be at the Four Seasons this year, and we are just building on the event from last year, and
Terrific.
yeah, so
Wow, things are
Hey.
jumping.
yeah,
Everybody's jumping except Freddie.
that's right.
Freddie doesn't know how to jump.
Freddie doesn't jump.
How does a tortoise jump?
They
Yeah,
don't.
okay. All right. So we got this Saturday is Freddie's birthday party. Everybody, let's go and see how many people we can get into the Humane Society.
We have 1,800 Easter eggs being hidden in our agility field, right? Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And the agility field, for those of you who drive by the Humane Society, coming and going maybe
Yeah.
from home to work, the agility field is there right off of the highway, so you can
Yeah.
actually see some of the equipment. And
So
if you're
fun.
going by there, what is it, Monday and Tuesday nights or
Oh
something?
my gosh, it's like 5 nights a week. We have
Classes and
yes.
something going on.
And so some people will say, "Oh, I drive by there and I don't see anybody out in the field. Do you guys not use it?" Well, we don't have classes during the middle of the day when it's the hottest.
Right.
Typically, our classes are in early evening, or if it's a weekend, maybe in the morning. But there are definitely classes
Right.
happening.
And
out
you just
there.
got some additional equipment.
We did.
Again,
yeah,
a
we got
donation
brand new,
from somebody.
a donation from a wonderful donor who that equipment was about $20,000. And yeah, we were excited.
Gosh,
Yeah.
things are booming.
You
Whoa.
know, again, we couldn't do what we do without the support that we receive from the county and from the community. So we're very
Right.
grateful for that.
And you got a lot of businesses giving you support in various
We have,
ways.
again, the community. Yeah, we have a lot of businesses that are, animal friendly and want to support the Humane Society on the island, and and so we reciprocate, and we recognize through our social media and our website the support that we receive from the businesses on the island, because we want the community to know and to go to their business then and pay it forward.
Yeah, you got it. Exactly. One more time, that phone number for lost animals or to turn in an animal.
877-3680, and you'll be prompted, depending on the reason you're calling, you'll be prompted to what extension to to dial.
Gotcha. Charlene, keep up the great work.
Thank
It's so
you.
exciting.
Thanks, Susie.
It's all so good over there. I just, it's that's one of our stellar agencies. We're going to talk to another one of our stellar agencies here in just a second. Hey, Rich, how are you?
Oh, hi, Susie. Hey, thanks for having me on.
This is so exciting. I've got two people who have won the Executive Director of the Year awards for the Maui Nonprofit Directors Association. So you guys got secrets. What do you do?
It's a lot of hard work, put it that way. We're both very dedicated.
Yeah, dedicated. You love what you do. And, well, you do what you love, so it's not work. Oh, well, let's not go that far. Okay. All right. That's what I say. I don't know about you guys.
No. I love what I do, and I don't think I'd be doing anything else.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You just really have blossomed under this thing.
Well, it's amazing helping the community and people in need. What a difference it makes in the lives of these people and obviously in your own life too, because you just know at the end of the day you've helped so many people.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
it's a good feeling.
Yeah. When you're talking about food, and it's just, I got to do one more thing for Humane Society before I move on to you. Who's the guy that's on radio talking about animals and how to Eckstein? Warren Eckstein. Yeah. Was it this morning or yesterday morning about pet food recalls. And he said people can't imagine how many times there are recalls out there because there's so many new brands of food.
That is true.
And for people to be careful and pay attention if they're buying something new and different. Yeah?
Yeah.
Is there a place to go to, like Pet Food Recall? Or Google it, I think.
God.
A lot
Susie,
of people say.
always have the best questions that then just put me on the spot. I'm not sure. I bet there is. Because I because I'm connected in that community and I see so much come through like social media and through email and whatnot, I get a lot of that information, so I've never had to go out and search for it. But I bet there is. Next time I come on the show, I'll have that information for you.
That's something to add to your website.
There we go. Yeah,
Pet recall
that's a good
for the
idea.
latest.
Well, we get a lot of food recalls.
That's what made me
and
think
so
of it
we're
again.
constantly putting that up on our wall and letting the agencies know about food recalls. But interesting enough, Jolene, we get a tremendous amount of pet food donated to us, and so we share that with animal agencies. I know we share
Wonderful.
with the Humane Society and we Boo Boo Zoo, and there's a list of other agencies that do come in, and our regular partner agencies will take some food because they know that their clients can't afford pet food.
Right.
Yep.
And it makes a world of difference.
If they can't afford food for themselves,
they're not feeding their pets.
Yeah.
And so it's a win-win, and we're a great outlet for especially like the retail chains that they get a busted bag or something like that. So we're a great we get typically a couple pallets a day coming in of pet food. Yeah.
That's
pretty
amazing.
Yeah,
That is
incredible.
amazing. You guys do such amazing work.
Don't they?
They even help distribute our flyers for the MASH clinics. So that's,
Well, we have, like I said, we have our tentacles in every segment of this community with, over 120 some odd partner agencies. We're in every little nook and cranny in this community, and when another nonprofit has some sort of an event or a benefit to the community going on, come through us. We can get it out to the people who are going to be the end users of whatever that happens to be, that product.
Right.
And,
That's great.
Like the MASH unit was
I think
such a win for this
you guys
community.
put out about 1,000 flyers for us to, because that's the segment of the community we're trying to reach.
Right.
Certainly.
Yeah,
So.
these are the folks that can't afford to come in and
exactly.
have their animals spayed and neutered, and this is the perfect way.
Yep.
Wonderful. That's the cooperation I was talking about between member agencies. I love it.
I think that's something about Maui is the nonprofits really do work well together, and we're one of the few counties in the country that actually has an organization where the EDs and CEOs get together and talk about their collaboration and their community involvement and other issues that are coming up. And we get to share, and we get to just expand on our knowledge, and it's such a win-win for this community, is being able to be a part of the Maui Nonprofit Directors Association.
Well, it's like, at the meetings when we have those few minutes where we talk about something that's coming up or what we're doing or maybe a new program we're starting or something. And then I kind of watch after the meeting's over, the people that gravitate to these folks who talked about this. And I'm hearing them say, what can we do to help? We've got something kind of like that, but not really, so it's not competition. But people we can't help, you can now. That's great. And I can only assume, I know that's a bad word to use, but I can only assume that the phone calls and emails are going after that meeting to make something happen. And that's what I love about it. Gary says we got to take a break.
Aloha from Pacific Source, and thank you for your support over the years. Pacific Source has offered more of what builders and homeowners value most in building materials and cabinet design. We've done this by offering superior customer service and products, as well as by designing kitchens and baths that are intelligent and elegant while staying true to your vision and budget. Visit our showroom in Waikapu in central Maui, where we display a variety of cabinets as well as top-name appliances like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Viking, KitchenAid, and more. We display countertops, tile and wood flooring, and several brands of windows and doors, including Fleetwood multi-slides and La Cantina folding doors. Come in and talk to our designers about making your dreams become a reality. From concept to completion, we really believe our attention to detail and superior service are what sets us apart. Let us show you what we mean. We are a Pacific Source at 515 East Oahe Way in the Consolidated Base Yard in Waikapu, just off Waiko Road. Call us at 986-0380. That's 986-0380, or look us up online at packsource.com.
And we are back. This is Maui Nonprofit Notes, the weekly radio show where we talk story with our executive directors, and as was the case today, with two CEOs. And a lot of people ask me, what's the difference between a CEO and an executive director? I think it's just the title that has been written into their bylaws or their job descriptions or whatever.
Yeah, they're actually interchangeable
Yeah.
as far as what my knowledge is
Right.
that, an executive.
And it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the size of the agency either.
No.
I mean, you see a CEO of a smaller agency, an executive director of a larger one. Hey, their job description is the same. pretty much.
It is. It's a lot of times written in the bylaws of the organization of how the director is going to be titled.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I think for a while, Lokahi had a managing director. Is what they called him, and that was something that came from back when they started. That was kind of the way things were handled, and that stayed in there for up until like 10 years ago.
Yeah, a lot of times a managing director will be an interim executive director.
Ah, yeah.
Yes, in their lead into becoming.
The last one that had the title managing director was there 20 years.
Oh.
That's quite a
That's a long
interim. But it's it's a title. It's the work you do and the how you do it. That's what counts. That's for our agencies, and that's what our employees count on. Is whatever your title is, you're the boss.
Yeah. And it's a labor of love, Susie, like
Yeah.
we talked about earlier. Yeah,
Right.
I mean, it truly is helping, helping so many people on a daily basis, knowing that they don't have to go to bed hungry, that they know where their next meal is coming from, even though they may not know where their next meal is coming from.
That's true.
But there's a place where people can turn, and nobody should have to go hungry.
Exactly.
I mean,
No
there's
excuse
so
for
much. Yeah, even in our remote, isolated island here, there's so much abundance of food that nobody should have to go hungry.
Right.
And so we work our darndest to make sure that that's the case, and we try to collect all the extra food on the island. I mean, as much as we possibly can. We also buy a lot of food too, but we try to collect and make that food available. And so our biggest donors are the retail stores and the wholesalers on the island. And we pick up every day from them and then make that food available. We obviously go through all that food to make sure that it's still wholesome.
Right.
And can be, in fact, passed on.
And at one time we talked about the dates that are stamped on things, and best when it says best sell by versus what else?
There's also best used by date.
Best used by. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of it's it's from the manufacturers. They know when the potentially the original taste that was intended of that food will not all of a sudden change, but it will have diminished past a certain date, and that's a best That's typically a best use by date.
Okay.
And then a sell by date are certain things that are, where they have to put a certain time frame on a certain product, especially when it comes to dairy.
So neither one is saying it's not good. It's not good after that date. It's just corn may not taste like that fresh off the cob corn that you're used to getting out of that can.
Right. And and us being a partner with Feeding America, we're part of the national network of food banks. And so we actually have a whole separate dating book that is published by Feeding America, and they work with the manufacturers to know when really is sort of the full expiration date of a particular product. Now, many of the products can last months, if not even year past expiration. And so we take in, so if you're in doubt, donate it. Our staff is trained to go through this, and the volunteers and our agencies are trained to go through and know what is still able to be distributed.
Oh, that's great, because so often we just assume, again, using that awful word, it says, no good, or do not serve after, or do something, whatever, and you just take that as gospel. And I love what you said there. Donate it to you guys. You'll check it out, and if it's no good, you'll get rid of it.
And what's great about us getting rid of it is we also partner with a pig farmer, so very little ends up in the dump. So, the pigs can eat it way past expiration, which is...
They don't care about the taste.
And they really don't care too much. They just want to fill their bellies. Multiple bellies, I believe pigs have.
Oh,
right?
yeah, right.
So, so we partner with a pig farmer, and literally pallets of food go to the pig farmer every single day.
Interesting.
Yeah, and that's food that is unwholesome for humans. Yeah. So, and we
Wow.
pass it on. We keep it in the food chain.
There you go. Yeah, right. What goes around comes around. No, let's not go there.
No.
Okay, I got you. But now you've got so many different programs going on, and I just think we mentioned before the show started, we were talking a little bit about this new one, or new. I don't know, what is it? It's not a program. Is it a program or the Million Meals?
Oh, the Million Meals is that's kind of a kickoff. We also partner with the Hawaii Food Bank over on Oahu, and we're part of a state chain of food, or state coalition of food banks. And a Million Meals is how many meals we're trying to bring in on this coming Saturday, which is our spring food drive day. Is this coming Saturday. And so we'll be set up in front of, I believe 17 stores. And we partner with multiple organizations who will be manning the tables. And so we encourage you folks to, donate at one of those sites or make a financial contribution so that we can, in fact, bring in 1 million meals this food drive.
Is it possible?
Throughout the state it is.
Wow.
Because we're able to leverage, especially financial donations and poundage of food, we're able to leverage that into many, many meals.
That's fabulous.
Yeah.
So when it comes to donating, you say you'll be in front of 17 different stores. That's grocery stores, that's hardware stores, who knows, whatever else. No. But do you have something on your website as to where?
Yeah, there's
actually
a get involved. And it's a listing of the different drop-off sites.
Okay.
And that's on a map. So if you're in a particular area, like on the west side or something like that, there's a map. You can go to that map and you can see who's doing an ongoing food drive and where food drives will be this coming weekend.
So like the fire stations that have an ongoing drive, you can drop it off there for Saturday and it counts towards this.
Absolutely, yeah. And fire stations are great county support there, and they accept donations year round. So if you're ever in doubt and need a local place to drop it off to a fire station. Just make sure it's non-perishable.
Yeah. I have a friend who says they buy at Costco. Of course, everything is big bunches or twos, at least 2 of something. Usually it's more like 6 of something. And they'll buy something new that sounds good. I'm going to try it. And they take it home and they open one can and they go, oh, no, this is not for us. They take the other 5 cans over to the fire station.
Yes,
Perfect.
And we get a lot of that. We're also, we also have bins set up at condos because obviously a lot of the tourists stop. First stop is at Costco, and they buy bulk, and they think that they're gonna eat in every day, and they really don't. They eat out every day,
right.
And so they have all this food at the end of their stay. And so So by having the fire stations readily available to take donations, it's a win-win. And then at the condos, a lot of the condos in the front office, they'll have a drop bin for us.
That's
as
tremendous.
Well,
yeah.
And our trucks are out every day picking up this food from food drives and.
Well, you make it so convenient for people.
Well, we try to. You know, we need to make it convenient, because otherwise, we need to be visible. We need to be in this community because there's such a need in this community. I mean, you know, obviously the high cost of living, you know, in Hawaii, and then especially on Maui, and in Maui County, because, you know, we service Molokai and Lanai as well.
Right.
You know, we make massive shipments to both neighbor islands every month. And it's quite an interesting process to watch our staff build these pallets that are going to be shipped over to our neighbors.
Is the need growing again?
The need is, in fact, growing. I think what we're seeing is that people who do have jobs, you know, the level of income is not keeping up with the rising costs of living here, and obviously people have multiple jobs. If they and a lot of times that's not even enough, and so people fall short. And then people who are on, you know, who might be on some sort of a food assistance, the SNAP benefits. Also have a tendency to run out, and it used to be about the last week and a half of the month they would, you know, their benefits would run out. They'd use up their EBT credits. Now we're finding out it's 2.5 weeks before the end of the month.
Wow!
And so we see a rise in demand towards the later weeks of the month, and month in and month out, it seems like. And so our agencies are aware of this. They'll come in, they'll stock up extra food for their pantries or their, you know, soup kitchen, that sort of thing, especially towards the end of each month.
Well, you know, I've got to say that just from my little bit of shopping that I do, I've seen an increase in that ticket when I check out, and you sit down and you start comparing some of those, and you go, my gosh, where does this go?
Yeah. And so, one of the things that we found is that, you know, a lot of our clients, they might be able to afford food, but they're not going to afford healthy food. So what they're doing is we're trying to make this shift in the clients and wanting them to get more produce, more healthier options, options that are lower in salt, lower in sugar, not so much processed food, and actually may not be as many calories, but the calories are going to be much better for them.
Right.
And that's what we're trying to emphasize, you know, through education and through the agencies, talking with the clients directly.
Right.
Yeah.
And some people feel like it doesn't fill them up, you know, like the unhealthy stuff does, because it's so much filler in all that stuff. And I mean, it looks like they're like, I have to eat so much more when I'm eating healthy.
Yeah, and actually, it's actually quite the opposite. People actually they'll find out that they start actually eating less because they're eating healthier.
Right.
And it's.
But it takes time for that transition.
It does take time, and some of it's cultural, some of it's just, you know, also how you were raised, you know, and what did you, you know, what are you used to eating. And so getting people to change their habit of what they're used to eating does take time.
Right.
And it's a progress, you know, it's progress. And I think we've made, I mean, last year we distributed 500,000 pounds of produce out of the food bank. And this year we're looking to do, you know, 700,000 pounds of produce this year. So wow. It's amazing how much. So we're starting to see this evolution, and people are in fact wanting this fresher, more nutrient dense foods.
So you've kind of got an inside track a little bit with, like, you've got the Aloha Backpack Buddies, where you fill up the backpacks with food for their weekends. That gives them a chance to introduce some of these better foods to their family.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, when a child who you know, is going to school getting lunch or breakfast on the free or reduced lunch program at school, you know, the weekend they go home, a lot of times there's nothing in the pantry. There's nothing in the fridge. And so by them taking home this backpack, and the food is all youth friendly. So it's, you know, it's shelf stable milk that they can use, and it's easy open tops and it's 6 meals that they get to take home, and we introduced healthier options. There's there's fruit and those sorts of things in these backpacks now, so it's making a difference, and we're seeing that the kids keep coming back and wanting more and more of that.
Right.
And then this summer, we started it last summer, we're going to do it again this summer, is our summer feeding program, and we'll be at 2 centers this coming summer, and that's providing meals for youth during the summer when they're not in school.
I see.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, and that's a good point, because they got to keep eating.
They got to keep eating, and it helps get the youth to go to the particular centers, and it gets them involved.
Are these like community centers, or?
Well, it's like Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Oh, okay.
We'll be partnering with. That's probably our larger of the summer feeding programs.
I see.
Yeah, so it's
Cool.
terrific. Yeah, and it's right in a community that really needs the help and.
You had some other items
Support.
I think you wanted to cover before we have to call it a day.
Yeah, actually, so we've got some things coming up, and obviously this coming Saturday is a big day for us, and we want everybody to say hi to the volunteers who are working at the tables, and be kind to them, and give them a donation, and food or funds. We'll take it. We'll take it all. We also have. Coming up is our the National Letter Carriers food drive. That's where you'll get a blue bag, and you don't have to put the food in the blue bag. Put it in any kind of a bag or box. Put it out at your mailbox. And this is May the 13th on a Saturday. The postal carriers nationwide are picking up food. And so here in Maui County, we get tremendous support by the National Letter Carriers, and we're hoping to bring in at least 50,000 pounds on that one day.
I love driving down the street, seeing all those blue bags
Oh, it's
hanging around, or
fantastic.
sitting on the ground next to the mailbox.
Yeah, that's our biggest day of the year, and we really appreciate everybody's support on. It's a great time to go through your pantry, pull out some stuff that you thought you were going to eat. You're not going to eat it. Donate it. We'll go through it all, and we have a tremendous amount of volunteers that come out and help us with that one day event. We have some other things coming up. We've got the charity walk, which I know all the nonprofits are pretty much involved in. I don't need to go into that. Taste of Wailea is coming up in June. That's a benefit for the food bank. If anybody wants to volunteer or you need food assistance, call 243-9500, 243-9500, and someone at our office can guide you into the proper direction, whether it's food, you want to volunteer, or you want to donate, or do a food drive. I mean, we love people doing food drives, and we'll do over 1,000 food drives this year, Susie.
My gosh, that's 3 a day.
That's at
least averages.
Average, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the weekends, of course,
it's pretty
are the
amazing.
biggest.
That's businesses, that's individuals, that's
some are long term,
groups,
some are
associations. Yeah, it's the community supporting the needs of other.
Boy, I hate to hear that the need is growing, but I'm also thrilled to know that you guys are covering it.
Yeah.
And that's incredible. Whoa, here we go again. Maui Nonprofit Notes is sponsored as a community service by Pacific Source, the builder's choice. Give Paul and his staff a call at 986-0380 or stop by their showroom in the Waikapu Base Yard on East Oahe Way to see how they can help you with your building project. Today we heard from the Maui Humane Society. Give them a call at 877-3680 and discuss your pet or one of a pet, or needing to share your pet with somebody else. We've also talked with the Maui Food Bank. Give them a call at 243-9500 for more information on how you can help them or how they can help you. We want to thank you all for joining us today. Tune in again next week, same time, same place. We'll be here with 2 more member agencies. I'm Susie Tiemann, Executive Director of Lokahi Pacific, and your host. Thanks for joining us today. Have a great week, everyone. Aloha.